Spider-Man episode recorded for the week after the Mail Inquire episode, and then there was a problem with that audio, so that took an extra week, and we didn't even have anything recorded for that week. So here we are. So yeah, it has been a couple weeks.
Honestly, though, I'm down to just get back to it with just a very casual episode.
That's what it's gonna be.
Eating pasta.
You know what question I hate the most?
Hmm.
This is like a conversation starter a lot of the time. Like, it's like the top of the list of like things that you ask somebody on the first date. But like what you would do like if you only had one day to live. I think that's a stupid fucking question. Because what does anyone do when they have one day to live? I don't think anyone knows. Well, obviously people know, but when they're put into that situation,
The
they're just
reality
like,
is,
fuck.
the reality is that's not a lot of time. You can only go so far for
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah, you can't be like, oh, I'll go to China. Oh, you're going to spend your last 24 hours on a plane just to see China for the last 30 seconds of your life.
Right. Pretty much.
And that's the thing, too. Like, what does that even mean? Like, are you just going to die when the sun rises? Is that the rule?
I think so.
I hate stupid-ass hypothetical questions like that.
Um,
I feel like a lot of people, if they were in that situation, they would just be surrounded by people they like for the rest of their life. Because I don't think anyone is brave enough to fucking go out alone if they know that...
go out alone.
I would just, like, roll a J and watch the sunrise, on my horse.
As you cease to exist.
Yeah.
I wonder what that feels like.
Probably pretty good. You see the sun starting to peak up, and you're like, ah, yeah. Finally. Sweet salvation.
Oh my god. There is some movie where there's like a scene and somebody's dying and the person who's with them is just like, it's okay, just let go. Just let it happen. And like, honestly, I find that kind of comforting.
What?
To just be like, just let go. Just let it happen.
Yeah.
Just die. Like,
Because, I mean, you can't fucking fight it. If you
True.
have a day to live, you have a day to live.
I don't know.
You can't will yourself to stay alive.
I know, but there are some people when they're dying, like they really are just like, you know when
You won't kill
you know
me yet.
you know when something's like everybody's had a dog or like some sort of pet that seems really fucking old, and then it just like clearly one day it's like, yep, today's the day,
Yeah.
and it just like the entire day the cat's just like, all right, off to die.
It's like Master Oogway, my time has come.
Exactly.
That's how I'm gonna go out. In a cloud of rose petals.
Beautiful.
There was an episode of The Simpsons where the doctor told Homer that he had a day to live.
There is.
And he goes through like the 5 stages of grief in like the first 30 seconds.
That's kind of realistic.
Homer predicted my death. Simpsons predicted my death. What if I had a day to live? Do you think I'd be recording right now? Well, what if this was my send-off into the void?
I'm down
Instead
for
of
it.
an obit, I could just do a pod. Have we said that before?
Just play it at my funeral. I think we've said that we would, like, you might die on the podcast or something like that.
Oh yeah. All right, this is morbid.
Morbid.
It's just what my brain goes to. I don't know why.
I do like how everybody's an amateur psychologist.
I hate that everyone's an amateur.
In like, everybody also is a philosopher in a way. Like, everybody has their own views on life, and like that's a human experience and whatever, but people are also just naturally very opinionated. Like, that's a human characteristic.
Some more than others.
Some more than others, for sure.
Like me.
But there is also something to be said about personality being like a construct. Like, you take influence from people that you grow up with, and that becomes your personality and your life experience. So there's some psychology to it, but it's also interesting because you end up being very similar to people that you're related to, and I think maybe that's just a like heretic kind of trait. Like you end up being opinionated because you're around opinionated people,
Yeah.
and like our society's like that for sure.
Opinions are like assholes. That's what they say. Ah, ashed on the table. At least you didn't do it in the pasta.
That would have been tragic.
Pick around it.
So, work's awful. Work as little as you possibly can.
That's good advice.
I feel like a lot of people try to tell you to work more than you should. You know?
How so? Like who? Your parents?
Just in a society kind of way. Like, it's structured to make you work more than you really need to or should.
Well,
But also, yeah, like, some people's parents are definitely
need to.
about just working. Like, some people,
The,
that is part of their...
the need is money. The need isn't
True.
that you want to be there. That's something that, you know.
Some people encourage being, like, overly committed to things.
Yeah. And I think that's a older person's mentality to have. Like the ones that spend their whole life at a company, just fucking loyalty to a fault.
Yeah.
But like, I think it is kind of entitled that everyone just says that they don't want to work.
Yeah.
Because nobody wants to fucking work. Do you think anyone wants to fucking work?
I've met people who have definitely tricked themselves and have this, like, go-getter attitude.
Yeah.
I don't think that's genuine. I find people who are like that kind of disingenuine.
You think I'm disingenuous? Because I'm like that.
You're about the hustle. There's a difference.
Yeah.
You're not about, like, I'm gonna work 24/7. Like,
No.
some people have that energy of, like, I'm gonna get up at, like, 5 a.m. every day. Crazy people, Louie. I'm talking about fucking crazy people.
There really are people that are like, well, I'm going to wake up at 5 a.m. and I'm going to do 30 squats before I brush my teeth. And
It's
like,
awful. It's awful. I don't know. I've always found people like that kind of just weird. Like, I don't get that. I don't get why you would... You'll find people like that in management at places who are just, like, kissing ass or getting used by a company and, like...
Well, you got to think, a lot of these people in management that talk like that, like, oh, I am so devoted to the company, they're doing that so that the followers are like, oh yeah, I want to do that too.
Yeah.
When they might not even really be like that in the first place. Now, some followers have that ass kisser mentality where they're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna spend my life for the corporation. But the vast majority of the people, that doesn't work on because no one has any loyalty to anybody but themselves and their pockets. So a lot of people say the right things like, oh yeah, this company, yay.
Yay!
Fake enthusiasm.
True.
But it's definitely disingenuous. But I guess that's what you were saying, that it's coming from a real place.
Do you think it can be subconscious, though?
How so?
Like, do you think people can be like that unintentionally because they feel like that's how they should be?
Yeah, conscious or not, that's what they're doing.
Right. I agree with that, then. Yeah.
Because some people have, like, you know, imposter syndrome is something that I've been hit with because, you know, I'm working a 9 to 5 now. I'm all fucking dressed up and doing work that I'm by no means qualified for. And it is kind of like, well, let me act like I'm supposed to be here even though that I'm definitely not.
I don't know, because if you're actually capable of doing the work, then, like, you're not underqualified for anything. Because that's just how it's structured. It's supposed to seem like you're not qualified for it. But the reality is, it's not that complicated of a job. There are so many jobs that require, like, full-on degrees that you could just be trained for.
Yeah. I
You
think
know,
all jobs could be like that.
a lot of jobs could. It's just it doesn't make money because schools make a lot of money, and so there's influence. Fucking crazy. Can this be the anti-work episode? I'm usually I love making the stories for the podcast. Like I've been trying to be better about that, and I like just posting all the anti-work shit that I see. Recently, I've been seeing shit going around about how like positive capitalism isn't really a thing. Like people who have tricked themselves that environmentally friendly capitalism is like you're just being fooled because that's not how capitalism works.
I don't know.
There's been a lot of talk about how capitalism just like
I know that's like, I think that's like
inherently evil.
I think that's like a prevailing like Twitter opinion.
Yeah.
Not right now, but like in recent years, everyone's saying, "Oh, capitalism in general is bad." I think that it's just the bad people. I don't think that it's necessarily.
But there will always be bad people, Louis. Like you can't.
Do you think in a state of nature that people are inherently bad?
No, I think some people are though. Okay, there's something to be said about the fact that statistically you find people who are sociopathic or psychopathic genuinely have those conditions. They're not like in movies where they're fucking all serial killers or whatever. Some people are just functioning.
Functioning sociopaths.
And those people are commonly found higher up in corporations and businesses.
Mm-hmm.
Like, those personality types occur naturally. So there will always be people who are like wanting to be on top. And once there's someone who wants to be on top, then there becomes status and structure, and like society points towards competition.
You have to think those people are so good at climbing the ranks of companies because they can be, fake. They can put on a display like we were talking about of, oh, I love this company.
Part of it is they do not care. If you like,
they don't actually care.
If you don't really understand emotions, because that's part of it. That's a big part of it. If you don't really have empathy, you will do whatever it takes. Like, you will. Part of what makes capitalism evil, quote unquote, is that it's cruel. Like, competition. We've talked about healthy competition, but competition also just puts a lot of people in a lower position. Like,
not necessarily. In capitalism, it does.
We're way out of whack, like having billionaires and trillionaires and whatever the fuck. But like that's not natural, and I think that is like accentuated capitalism. I think there is healthy like trade and barter system. I'm totally down for that. I've said before I'd rather live like that because that feels very natural. That's more just like having a conversation.
Competition is the state of nature, though. And
I know.
That's why we are in the situation we're in right now.
I know.
We're not coded to work together. Obviously, we could just all work together and be one big family,
but like
happy family.
We're
but
not
that's
ants.
not realistic.
Yeah. We're not.
Even ants are
in
like
tune.
That. Ants are like that because they have
a hive,
a queen fucking controlling them.
True.
So they're still moving with like one mind.
Yeah.
It's not like each individual ant is fucking happy. We are ants to society.
I mean, imagine you do a good for the colony, and you get that boost of serotonin, like, then you're whipped psychologically to be a good boy, like, in the simplest terms. And some people, I think, do get tricked into thinking like that, you know, of like, I'm being helpful, and so I'm happy. And like, if we're talking about natural order, That's not necessarily a natural behavior.
What is
If everybody is supposed to be out for themselves, like at a natural state, because life is competition, um, survival of the fittest.
it?
Be anyone who's like somehow been tricked into thinking like I'm helpful, so I'm supposed to be happy
Mhm.
is
Well,
like
you gotta think.
not
There's no purpose to fucking any of this. And that's why
true.
a lot of people work. I know people that work fucking manual labor and
Mm-hmm.
choose to do it because they don't want to, they just don't want to spend their days fucking doing nothing. They want to feel helpful.
Accomplished, yeah.
And it's not that they want to help, like, other people.
No,
Like,
no, no, no.
they
But
feel
like
good
they want to feel
in
like they're
what
part
they're
of a
doing.
task, yeah. And I get that because that is also, like I said, serotonin boost. Like there is something to be said about making something and like seeing the result,
Mm-hmm.
and like that does feel good. I've had that feeling before. Um, like seeing your hard work. There's a lot to be said for that.
In the work I'm doing right now, I don't really feel like I'm helping like anybody. Like
Yeah. You feel like you're doing a thing
I
and then you're
think
not
that
doing a thing.
yeah, I think that a lot of corporate you're just so detached from everything that you're actually doing and helping with that like it doesn't even like register in your mind that you're doing something for other people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there are a lot of jobs where like you can see the fruits of your labor actually happen. Like barbers, you cut someone's hair, they look better, and you get paid for it. You know, you can physically see the positive things that you're doing in the world.
Yeah. I like that you used a barber as the example.
My friend's a barber, so that's why I was thinking
Nice.
of.
Yeah.
I think that
Which way would you prefer to live? Would you rather, like, see the result of your work or feel it somehow?
then not.
Yeah.
Well, of course, everyone wants to see the fruits of their labor. Like no one wants to. I guess for some people, the fruits of their labor is just money,
Yeah.
and it doesn't matter that you're not doing anything like substantial to fucking do anything.
Mm-hmm.
But like overall, like I think that so would it just be better to have a trade and barter system because competition, you know, it is a myth of capitalism to some degree. Like this competition doesn't just, you know, make everything
Well,
happen, but it's
inherently, money's
definitely
not real, right?
it's
Like,
definitely made like certain products better over time that if we were just in like a trade and barter system
nothing
like we were
would
talking
get
about,
made like that.
everything would just be
Well,
on the fucking
I don't know. You have to think
most
about
base level and there would be no need
most
for innovation.
most innovations are started by war. Like war really drives technological advancement.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and like many geniuses in the Renaissance were also like constructing weapons.
Uh-huh.
Even in ancient Rome and Egypt, people were trying to advance war tactics and their capabilities,
And that's
and
competition.
that's competition. But like, I don't know. I feel like Rome doesn't work because they had like actual, and like
They
both
tried
times
to be
work.
more
There is
peaceful
actual
and shit.
currency, but I still think there's something to be said about there's still natural competition, so there will still be innovation. Like,
How much of that is actually happening though? Because when you're doing like trading and bartering, like the whole world's not your competition. Like
true.
these companies, like they're competing with each other on like a global scale. On an individual
I
basis,
feel like that's part of what's
you
wrong with it, though. You know,
it's part of what's wrong with it, but it's part of what's
like
sparking
there's a reason
innovation.
that keeping shit local is healthy for the economy, and like just from a
But
political
but
scale.
but is it healthy for innovation? Because I definitely see what you're saying. Like local economies is very important for the way we live life.
Yeah.
And if we're not buying shit from each other, then there won't be any money to go around in the first place. But on the larger scale, moving into the future, innovation's really what we need. We need to keep making
But
better
why?
technology.
Why?
Because we're fucking doomed if we don't. We're doomed if we don't fucking invent better technology to save us from the situation we're already in. And capitalism
That's
has put us in the
I was about to
situation
say,
we're already
but that's now,
in. But
Louis.
changing it
If you
now,
look at the natural order of things, though, like, it's really okay. The truth is, when we talk about saving the planet or whatever, it's not about saving the planet. The planet will still exist when the sun expands and consumes it. Like, that's as long as our planet is going to exist.
but it'll be like Jupiter.
But honestly, no. We'll make it uninhabitable for us, like, by just weather extremes. And
There might be, I feel like at a certain point,
unless we advance to just survive that, but, like,
it's going to be like, it's going to be like fucking, it's going to be like,
the Earth would be fine, is what I'm trying to say.
as a rock, not as like,
There could still be life.
microbacteria will still be alive, sure.
And they'll be having a
But
grand old fucking time.
I don't think even like cockroaches could survive this like they survived the fucking meteors. Like at a certain
Dude, you'd
point,
be surprised by, like, some of the animals that have not changed since the time of the dinosaurs.
Gators are dinosaurs.
I know, right? Some sharks too, though. Crustaceans. Insects. Insects are like one of the oldest orders of animals. They've been around long as fuck.
So what are you saying?
They can survive this shit.
Yeah, but
They've
we
survived the planet being, like, inhospitable in other extremes,
Mm-hmm.
you know? Like, we've gone through a frozen stage. We've been
So what
the
are we
hot
saying?
pocket straight out the microwave.
What
like,
are we saying? Fuck it, the world's gonna die and
humanity's gonna die.
humanity's
The
gonna die
Earth's
and
gonna
we
be
deserve
fine.
it.
Yeah, we put ourselves here.
You won't be saying that when the world's actually fucking ending.
It's already fucking ending.
It's in
I
the
feel like
process
that.
of it. It's not actually happening. So, yeah, yes, capitalism is the reason that we're in the state that we're in right now.
Mm-hmm.
But going to trading and bartering now isn't going to magically solve all of these problems that we have right now.
What is the solution, though?
Innovation.
Explain.
Innovation.
How does that make it better, Louis?
Innovation with technology wouldn't make it better.
Okay, but
If we don't, if
what
we,
what if we're just meant to die off, Louis?
then we're
The
meant
age
to
of
die
man
off.
has come and passed, but, like, I don't know. But, like, we could just be doomed.
That's
and
such
the
a
planet could be
fucking.
fine.
That's such a fucking defeatist mentality
But-
to have. Just roll over and fucking die.
Like,
Preston.
if we go on too long, like, we should not. Our backup plan currently, as a culture, seems to be we're going to space.
Mm-hmm.
We should not be traveling the cosmos.
No.
We're really bad. Look at what we did to our planet. We'll go and do that somewhere else.
The thing about
That is how we function. We just repeat everything. Historically. They're just going to go to another planet, ruin that one, go to another planet. That was really loud.
the thing about that though is there aren't even any other planets that we could just inhabit naturally
I know.
anywhere near that we even fucking know about. So what we would have to do if we moved to like Mars or somewhere like that was we'd have to create enough technology to be able to artificially sustain ourselves. Not saying that that's the solution, because we talked about this before. I don't think that jumping ship is the fucking correct thing to do.
Yeah.
I think that
we have a responsibility and we
factually,
should correct what we've done here.
factually, there has been not even that. I don't even feel a responsibility to the planet like that, you know. But for humanity's sake, the Earth has so many processes
Yeah.
that keep it doing what it's doing that we don't even understand all of them.
Yeah.
So we literally couldn't create that somewhere else. But hopefully, with the production of science, we'll be able to help uh, preserve or at least hold off some of the processes that are going to fucking destroy us.
I also think there's something to be said about the fact that there's a reason not anybody or everybody can be an astronaut. Like,
Some people can't handle it.
realistically, it's very psychologically difficult. You're going through a lot, just like physically. So you're already kind of drained, and then you're kind of in an enclosed space
Mm-hmm.
with people you might not necessarily be compatible with. Like you're living with people that are basically your colleagues, and some people are not cut out for it. Because there's also just isolation, straight up, and
I like isolation.
I don't.
If they sent me to space, I'd be happier than a motherfucker. They better send me alone though. They better not
Give
send
me
me
the
with
escape
anybody else.
pod.
They could send me up there with you, and I would kill you. If I was stuck in space with you, no, I'm saying that because I'm saying that even someone who I'm close to and I choose to spend
Would still
time
drive
with,
you crazy
if I had to spend
being trapped with them.
yeah forever in literally the void.
Um, I also think it's impractical to think we're going to like freeze ourselves or something. It's gonna be like up. It's gonna be multi-generational.
Mm-hmm.
Some generations will live and die in space before we reach another planet.
Do you think that is unfathomable though? That we'd be able to do like Futurama and just freeze ourselves for an
I think
extended
it's
period of time?
depends on how far technology advances. It'd be more
Well,
likely,
that's what I'm saying,
in my opinion,
Preston.
it'd be more likely that we would be able to like transfer our consciousness to some
Like a
digital
computer?
form before we would be freezing ourselves.
I think that's very possible too.
Or like
I
honestly, you wouldn't even be frozen. You'd probably have a bunch of preservatives of some form pumped into you.
It wouldn't necessarily be like you're being put into like carbonite or fucking
No,
something.
you'd be
Like,
in stasis. You'd be being
It would
like,
be some
on an
variation.
IV.
Of
Yeah.
that. It would be some variation of that. But like in the past 30 years, think about how much fucking technology has improved in the past 30 years.
I know, but
it's been fucking incredible. You don't see any possibility that if we keep moving forward with technology.
I think like I said, I think we'd be more likely to download our consciousness.
I'm speaking more in general.
And like
you're sounding defeatist about the
we
whole
should just
state.
die off. Yeah.
Even if we could fix the world, we should.
That does sound fucked up when you put it like that. But
we should at least try.
Like you said, if it's about responsibility, it's not our responsibility. Like, we just exist here.
Yeah.
We've decided to think of it as our planet. Some of us, some people really don't think like that. Those people are evil. Like, I can't imagine just being like, nah, fuck that. Like, imagine going on a hike. You see some beautiful nature. You could see that and be like inspired. Mm-hmm. Like some people see stuff like that. That's why a lot of ancient religions were based around nature, just being in awe of nature. And like a lot of people see that and can see God or whatever. But some people could straight up just be like, nope, this does nothing for me. Or some people see money, like natural resources. like certain businesses would not exist if there weren't people who thought like that. You know? But I don't know. I don't think we have responsibility to the planet. I
No,
get that.
we do or don't. We
I don't
do,
think we do. Deep down, I think it's just like,
even though we put us in this situation.
but like I said, I also believe the planet would be fine. And your only concern comes from, like,
My only concern comes from humanity. But if we would be
it's
killing,
selfish to be thinking,
we would be killing like almost every multiple cell life form. Like it wouldn't be just us. It would be all other life here. You know,
I think life finds a way, okay? Like, I think,
we're life. We're life, and
I
we can
know,
find a way.
I know, we're trying to. But I also, like I said, I think our societal plan seems to be we're jumping ship. Not enough people are thinking, oh, I should be trying, and it's not even people, because there is a big movement of people who are like trying to recycle and do what they think they can do. But it's mostly the corporations and politicians who are responsible for this kind of shit. Like, those are the people who can make shit happen,
Mm-hmm.
but we're just so goddamn slow. There's so much bureaucracy.
It's the people that we elect too.
I know. But
None of them
but
are.
then you get into like the politics of it, and that becomes even more complicated because that's just messy as fuck. Like, you cannot guarantee people are genuine. You know?
Nobody in politics is
I
genuine.
know.
Because there's so much money in it.
I know.
You talk about the sociopaths, the sociopaths that see money and don't care about like how you get it. That's them.
Yeah.
That's fucking them. You know what I think is really interesting?
Hmm.
So you know how Jupiter. I'm bringing up Jupiter again.
Again.
Jupiter had like maybe it was Saturn. I think it was Saturn. The big storm that has been raging.
Jupiter. It's Jupiter.
It is Jupiter.
Yeah, the big red eye.
Yeah, that's been going on for as long as it's been observable
Yeah.
by humans. Has been stopping. Have you? Did you hear about that?
Actually, yes, I've heard that. Like,
It's
every
stopping.
year it slows down more and more, and get like you can see it shrinking.
Yeah, and we have no idea why. You know what's possible? What if humans were originally there, and they jumped ship to Earth, and
I
they did
love
the exact
this.
same thing over there, where because that atmosphere is made up of carbon the same way, where it's all of these greenhouse gases.
Yeah.
And maybe we came here and we purposely didn't use technology because we knew the same thing would happen here. And somehow over time, we just lost that and we're doomed to repeat the fucking same thing.
That's what I was saying. Without the humans are from Jupiter.
What if we went to...
That's a great conspiracy theory, Louis. You should really spread that around the internet.
What if we went to Jupiter and we saw, like...
Humans?
Not the humans, but, like...
What would they look like?
Remnants of... Because all the Jupiter people are probably dead.
All the Jupiter people. Then why is the storm getting smaller? Maybe they're saving Jupiter. Some people stayed behind.
Hey, fuck you, Preston. That was a real point I was making. The Jupiter
What if it's
people are
Wally?
saving Jupiter.
What if it's fucking Wally, bro?
Wally.
What a well-rounded episode. We got into conspiracy theories. Said fuck the politicians.
Once again, I have quite the editing job ahead of me, but I'm up for the challenge.
I really respect that you've been doing it in like the last 24 hours before release.
It's the way I do, baby. That's how I am with school projects.
Everything.
All
Live
that.
life like it. Nice.
My mentality is, if I could devote all this time for a group project and get a B, and I could do it the night before and still get a B, because at the end of the day, teachers, like, rubrics are so fucking arbitrary that they're really just eyeballing it, and they're like, oh, I like that. That's what the fuck it is, you know?
You're saying school's a popularity contest?
Damn near. It was a lot more.
I can't disagree.
It was a lot more popularity contest in, like, public school, because
You gonna leave that one in too?
yes,
All of them stay in.
because you know the teachers definitely had their favorites back in, like, high school and shit, and you know they weren't gonna give, like, F grades to, like, the little stupid ass jocks that, you know, would make the teacher laugh every day.
Dang.
I mean, don't you think that? Do I think that some guy on the fucking lacrosse team is writing just as good of a fucking paper as I am, an actual fucking writer? No, I don't believe that.
Louis. How elitist of you.
Is that elitist?
I think so, to say, look at this guy. He's clearly not writing as well as I am. A very literate person that I am.
Or maybe it's just because I wait till the last 24
but
hours.
I also agree. I also agree.
I think that there's a lot of racism applied when teachers grade too. Like, I think a lot of the time, like, you know, teachers give worse grades for, like, more subjective things to people of color, and that holds them back as well, you know. How many teachers have you had that were black? None. In public schools? Maybe one or two. But pretty much none. You gotta think, I had, 7 classes every year?
Yeah.
In high school? So that's, 28 in total. And how many of those people were black?
I had one math teacher throughout all of my public school experience, I'm pretty sure.
What about English teachers? That's more specific to what I'm talking about. Like, I don't think I had any. My entire time growing up.
I was going to take an African American literature class because I thought that would be really interesting. Ended up having to take, like, some stupid math course or something.
Mm-hmm.
Or I decided to be a student aide instead, since it was just, like, a free credit.
Yeah. And, you know, when you're a student aide, you just get to, like, walk around and not do shit.
But I was student aide for a English teacher that I thought was really cool.
That's nice.
And it was fun. I didn't have to do anything. Just hang out.
There would be those aides that would fucking just go into random classrooms.
Mm-hmm.
And they'd somehow just know everybody. They'd be like, hi, everybody.
What's
they were
up?
fucking, like, just doing their world tour of the school.
That was not me.
No.
I did every so often. This was mostly at the end of the year when my friends weren't doing anything in their classes. I'd just go visit them. And a couple times I got borrowed by the office. They needed an aide to go, like, hand shit out to teachers. Most embarrassing moment of my life was when somebody in the office said, like,
damn, Preston, do you shit your pants?
said, no, just, like, I hate when I say, like, just sound really fucking dumb.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, they literally just said, like, something, like a statement, and I said, you too. Because I was fully expecting, like, have a nice day or whatever.
I don't think there's anything bad about that, because I do that all the time.
It hurts.
And there
I did it today. It hurts.
I don't think that there's anything wrong with it. It just means that you're on autopilot.
Yeah.
And that's understandable because you're kind of supposed to be on autopilot for a lot of shit.
Mm-hmm.
You're taking a back seat in your mind, and then you just be playing with your thoughts. You know what I'm saying?
Daydreaming.
Yeah.
I've been daydreaming more.
My real dreams have come back since I've stopped smoking.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I've been having more dreams recently, too. I think I've just been sleeping better.
I've been sleeping worse.
I took some melatonin at, like, the right time a couple of days. Got in the right rhythm. I went to bed at, like, 9:30 the other day.
Wow.
I got 9 hours sleep, for what I swear has been, like, the first time in at least a month.
I need to start going to bed at like 6 o'clock. The reason why I wake up so fucking early is because the sun rises.
Mm-hmm.
And my body, when I wake up, my brain is just racing immediately off to the fucking races.
They're like, it is time.
Ready, get set, go type shit. Starter pistol, bang.
Bang.
And my mind's like, you know.
Yeah. My alarm's like that for me. Honestly, I don't feel awake until I've, like, had a good shower. Shower wakes me up good. Better than coffee.
Do you think that it's your mind that's asleep or your body that's asleep? Because my mind's never fucking asleep when I wake up. It's my body that's like,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, my eyes have to adjust to the light, and I'm in the bathroom fucking squinting.
It takes me, like, I don't know, in the middle of the night, I can wake up and be, like, just functioning. But waking up in the morning hits different somehow. Where I'm just like, till I don't know, get up, I'm not up.
Mm-hmm.
So if I don't move from the bed, I can fall back asleep. But I know once I'm up, it's fucking, the day has begun.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening. We'll be back next week. Make sure to follow us on Instagram. Handles in the description as always. And if you could, share the podcast with someone and give us some feedback.